So here's one I prepared earlier. You'll see that I've added gold and S&P, Kiwi, and the CAD, and obviously the same, the same equations that I followed. See, now, so what I've got here is that we know, for example, that the dollar Swiss would be a buy because we're closer to the high than we are from the low. You see, we're 10 pips from the high, but 47 from the low, and that's why that's green. Now, the euro pound fell 119 pips from the high, and we're only 3 pips from the low, and that's why that's red. So the equation here, it took me a little while to figure out, but in order for something to become a buy, it needs to cross the threshold, the halfway point from the live price. So it would be the halfway point between these two values from the high and the low. So it has to satisfy whether or not that is greater than -1 in order to become a buy. Now, if dollar Swiss becomes a sell, it needs to be less than -1, that value. So we see that the euro pound's 119 pips from the high and the 3 pips from the low. Now that satisfied the sell criteria. So that's about it really. And also you can add your charts here. These are updated in real time. They move a hell of a lot, but like really volatile. And we see how we've got gold here. We've got the distance from the high and the distance from the low. And I've got the S&P next to it. I know they don't necessarily correlate, but they are quite useful. So what I've been doing all week, when that satisfies the buy, then I've gone long S&P because I know the sentiment is a buy. I hadn't sold it all week because I know the sentiment, and likewise with the gold, I've only sold it. But you see how if that orange bar becomes bigger and that blue bar becomes smaller, then that's where it's going to cross here. You see, at the current moment, we're closer to the low than we are to the high, and that's why that's a sell. I might rename that because it's a bit misleading. It would be more like a midpoint range, of the volatility. But yeah, that's it. Ignore those Russian icons; they're a bit strange. I'd need to delete those too. But that's your formula, and I'll write it on the guide anyway. So what will happen? These will flip over, and when they do, that's when I enter, but only if the sentiment agrees. So the pound's a bit of a strange one because the sentiment is actually a sell. So when that flips over on Monday, we'll get that to cross over here, and when it does, I'm going to sell. So yeah, hopefully this is clear, and if you need any help at all getting set up, I can totally help. But hopefully you'll see why and how it's so powerful. Yeah, so it's basically a scalping system that's like really, really good. Yeah, I think I've wrapped it up. You know how to add currency pairs and how this system works, hopefully. It's not too confusing. But yeah, that's it. And just let me know if I can help at all. I'm more than happy to advise. I'm using this a lot. I've been using it all week and it's been really good. So yeah, it's all good. And I'll speak to you later.